Okay. Hi friends. The birds are in full force this afternoon outside my balcony, so you're just gonna have to deal with their unsolicited advice. The last few days have been quite a roller coaster of emotions. Of course, as soon as I start filming, as soon as I start talking, you walk to the door.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, the adventure returns. You just got back from your first VO gig.
I did.
Okay, and then did you go for your fitting already?
Already done.
Daniel also booked a day on set for a TV show. Where was I? So yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs this week emotionally. But today is kind of a day for recalibration. I feel like sometimes filming a video for YouTube is kind of a nice hard reset for my brain. So we're gonna try and have fun with this one today. If you aren't aware, we are in the midst of a palette potential series with the Serenity palette by Cosmic Brushes. And if you haven't watched last week's video, which if you haven't yet, I will link it up here, I'm not convinced yet. It was throwing me some curveballs. And you know what? I think we persevered in the end and managed to make something really pretty out of it. But if you know me at all, you know that I do not appreciate a difficult eyeshadow formula. And some of these shades were giving me a little bit of trouble. I got a lot of suggestions for how to proceed with the next look, so we are going to do just that. We are going to apply all of the constructive criticism. Thank you all so much for engaging with the last video and for leaving really helpful suggestions and for starting really thoughtful and somewhat deep conversations with me. Engaging with everyone in the comments is always such a gratifying experience, so I just thank you all for being so engaged. And before I dive into my base and get into a little bit of preamble, a little bit of chit chat, why don't we go ahead and get this train rolling? Let's dive into look number 2 in our palette potential series on the Cosmic Brushes Serenity palette. Let's get started. So the advice given to me by some people in the comments was that this specific formula, the Cosmic Brushes matte formula, works best in reverse, or rather working from darkest to lightest. And as much as this is so counterintuitive to how I approach makeup, I want to give this formula a fair shake. So today, that is exactly what I'm going to attempt to do. I'm not going to be super hypercritical of myself on this one, because if it does in fact turn out not exactly as planned, I'm not exactly going to put all of the onus on the formula. Some of the fault will be also with my lack of expertise in this method of application. I'm going to be vaguely inspired today by Chappell Roan, their makeup artist who worked with them on their Coachella set. Oh my god. I almost wanted to save using Chappell Roan as inspiration for the final video of this look. However, I really just don't feel like doing anything else today. I say vaguely inspired only because I just don't have the energy to go full Chappell today, but I'm going to pull some inspiration with the shape and the textures from what Donnie Davy did. It's so striking. It's very gorgeous, but it's also still kind of soft while still maintaining that graphic nature. This makeup is really designed to reach the back of the house, which for a festival like Coachella and for a big personality like Chappell Roan, that is so important. I also love the use of rhinestones in this look, and little does my audience know the amount of times that I've pulled out my rhinestones in preparation to apply them and end up just abandoning the idea altogether because of how exhausted I am by the end of a shoot that I just can't even be bothered. But today I really want to try and make a commitment to it. It's also giving Pat McGrath Maison Margiela vibes, which is another trend that I just let completely pass me by because I am not about to go to all that trouble. But this seems like a nice little happy medium. While I am derobing my fingers, I also wanted to give a shout out to one of my absolutely gorgeous subscribers who has coined the term, and I might ask permission to steal this from you, motivated by Maddie. We love an alliteration on this channel. They go by the handle Gun Leanne Nev on Instagram. They post makeup looks, and this one in particular was inspired by the look I did with the Melon and Bailey Sarian collab. Also, if you haven't seen that video yet, please go watch it. It is one of my fave to date. I love the kind of more simplistic pared down version of this. Leanne also said that they stopped watching the red eyeshadow video and decided the heck with it, let's just get this practice in. I love that these videos are sometimes just that extra motivation, that extra little kick in the butt to just get creative and try things out. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. But this definitely worked. I love this this look on you. It is so stunning. The colors really pop, especially the blue, and I think you did such a great job. So kudos to you. Thank you so much for sending this my way and for giving me permission to share it on my platform. Why don't we just start a hashtag? If you ever get the impetus to recreate one of my looks from one of my YouTube videos, you can either send me a DM on Instagram, or we can just start a hashtag here and I can follow it. Let's call it Motivated by Madelaide. I like it. It has a nice ring to it. Let's see how that goes. So I'm just gonna get started on my base. Oh my God, it is so noisy outside and I absolutely apologize, but I don't have time to wait for it to finish.
One eternity later.
Well, it appears that the noise might be going on for quite some time. I've tried to wait it out for a few minutes and there doesn't seem to be any let up. And who knows how long it's going to take for it to be done. I'm just gonna get a head start on my base and try and breeze through it while I wait for the really intrusive noise to pass. So why don't I go ahead and just get some of the boring stuff out of the way. As you can see, the noise still hasn't let up yet, but I did want to pop in here and show you something new that I haven't used on the channel yet. I hummed and hawed over it, and eventually the Sephora sale just broke me. I just needed to know. You know, this is the new Milk Makeup Cooling Water Jelly Tint, a cheek and lip stain. Full disclosure, I have been using this off camera for a little rehearsal, quick beat. I really enjoy it on bare skin, first of all, which is why I bought it in the first place, but I have yet to use it over top of makeup. So I'm very curious to see how this lays down. Plus, I think it would be a perfect base for the kind of cheek that I want to try and attempt today. And so usually I will actually just literally paint this on, but today I think I'm gonna play it safe and apply it using a brush first. It is incredibly subtle. It actually shows up stronger on bare skin. I feel less trepidatious to just slap it on directly when there's no makeup underneath it to disrupt. Truthfully though, it is still really stunning over top of foundation. The nice thing about this formula is that it will dry down. It is just a stain and then it just doesn't go anywhere, which really comes in handy when your job includes sweating your butt off. I'm really loving how that looks. And this will leave a stain on your lips, but it's a really good product if you really like that popsicle mouth effect. It really adheres to the inside portion of the lip. It might be a bit gimmicky, but I actually really enjoy using it, especially in the day-to-day. By the way, this is in the shade Chill. It's the more red shade of the bunch. Also, there has been this sunset blush trend going around on Instagram. Basically, it's an ombre blush situation with a really nice golden highlight. So I'm gonna try and attempt a little bit of an ombre blush situation, but using cooler tones. And I wanted to see if the effect would still work with a cool tone palette. Plus, I just need another excuse to bust this one out. It is so gorgeous. So I'm going to apply this one more on the outside of the cheek and higher up, kind of closer to the temple. And just when you think we haven't used enough blushes yet, she's so reflective right now. Let's powder her down just a tad. Still trying to preserve the glow on the cheek. Let's do a little bit of contour. I don't want to overdo it today just because the cheek is so gorgeous. So let's try and preserve some of that. Putting those away before I get too out of control with that. I'm gonna throw on a couple of ambient powders just to soften and brighten. this is working out. Famous last words. Tapping into this one more time. Just say the term blush trend and I awake from my slumber like a little bear from hibernation. Just gonna add a touch of powder foundation ever so slightly, just right here. Just to brighten ever so slightly. All right, well, thanks to all of this lovely ambient noise, my attempts for some conversation points while doing my base were so unceremoniously thwarted. So I'm gonna hop off camera, go do my eyebrows, and hopefully when I return, things will just be a little more peaceful in here. Be right back. You hear that? It's a beautiful thing. I had a really nice segue from showcasing Leanne to discussing some theatery talking points for my base chat. Base chat was actually a series I did on my Patreon when I did have a Patreon. And it's been really fun kind of revisiting that idea in my main content. And I screenshotted this comment from Leanne because I thought it was such a great question that I wanted to save it for base chat. But now I've kind of run out of time to talk about it. So this leads me to ask a question of you all. What would you all think of me doing a Q&A video for the next upload? Maybe I can throw something up on the community tab here, maybe start an Ask Me Anything on my Instagram stories, and maybe just round up a few questions so that I actually had more to answer for the next base chat. Throw me your questions. It could be about theater, it could be about makeup, so let's plan for that. With that being said, our eyebrows are on. I should stop stalling and attempt to do this really bold graphic eyeshadow look that I'm not at all scared about. Let's zoom you in and talk it through. Here are my thoughts. The look Chappell Roan did for Coachella was simple, bold, graphic, yet still soft and feminine. But the look just really appeals to me. It really drew me in. And I thought, why not put this black to the test? And by helpful suggestion, I'm going to challenge myself on this one and attempt to start building the look using the darkest shade first. I'm going to help this along by using this as a base for the liner. This is the Melt Onyx Ultra Matte Gel Liner, and this is where I'm going to deviate from the reference a tiny bit. There's some really pretty pastels in this palette, which I think would be great on the lid. I also do have rhinestones on deck. So without further ado, let's throw on some eyeshadow primer. So first things first, I'm going to try and map out all of that black liner using Onyx. And it goes all the way around, so that's fun. Her brows are a bit of a different shape than mine, but we do have similar eye shapes, actually. It doesn't quite meet at the inner corner, but kind of comes to two individual points. That's a good place to start. Before I get too carried away, I really should match it on the other side as we go. And there's that great swoop on the inside of the wing. It's like a hybrid between a graphic liner look and an eyeshadow look. Oh, I already like that quite a bit. I feel like a bit of a super villain slash masked crusader. Okay. Actually not so bad. I was holding my breath the entire time. Also, of course, I would forget to put these on until halfway through the video. Hey girl, what's up?
Literally just calling to say hello.
I'm literally filming a video right now, so everyone say hi to Michelle. Michelle, say hi to the audience.
Oh my god, hi. Hello.
Well, that was a nice unexpected surprise from Michelle. Michelle is a fellow Vancouverite who is currently doing her first season at Stratford in Ontario, which is kind of Canada's theater mecca. Couldn't be prouder. Everyone throw her some love in the comments. I've been sitting here like a masked crusader for the last like half hour, so let's just keep this train a-rolling. Now that we've got the framework, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I think actually we're on a good path right now, so let's continue. I'm gonna do exactly what y'all have been telling me to do, and that is to start with the darkest shade. So let's go into the black, or sorry, let's go into Mystical and try and soften these edges a bit. Taking one of my favorite little pencil brushes, and we're really tapping it out. Also trying to fill in some of these gaps. All right, I'm gonna take a clean brush and just kind of run over these edges a bit to try and soften them a little bit more. When you're working with only black, there's a fine line between soft diffused edges and just muddiness. You can really see the difference between this side and this side now. Pray for me. I'm gonna take that angle brush in the powder this time. I will have to go and clean up some of those little edges. Grab another angle brush and a little bit of powder. Gosh, don't you just love holding your breath while doing your makeup? Oh, what a great feeling. Let us move on, finally. That only took about a century. I'm gonna take Pixie here, that mid-tone purple, start applying it to that outside edge and maybe a little bit on the inside as well. She's pretty pigmented. In order for me to execute this well, I really have to take my time, which is frustrating when you want things to be done, but I also want them to be done well. And so far it's not too muddy either. All right, okay. Moving on, let's take a little bit of Make-A-Wish and blend out these edges. Blending these two together is harder than I thought it was going to be. Also, trying to create symmetry is close to impossible, but my feeble little brain insists on it anyway. And so we persist. I mean, once it's there, it's there. And these two shades look beautiful next to each other. But again, still taking a little bit of hand holding, even in reverse. I'm open to the possibility that I'm just bad at makeup. Moving on, let's take a little bit of Echo and place that right in the center. I think I'm just gonna go in with my finger for this. That's pretty cool. I mean, this is clearly deviating from the original design, but I'm not entirely upset by it. Just kind of connecting everything on top there with that light lavender shade. Time for a little shimmer action, and I think I'm gonna go in dry instead of adding a tacky primer, just because I don't really want to disrupt the blend, but I do want to add just like a pop right in the center over top of that blue. So let's just take some opal on our finger and hope for the best. Yeah, I want it to be kind of softer. That's nice. Now I think I'm gonna leave this bare because I kind of want to leave it looking like an extension of the eye itself. While I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to take a little bit of NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. Oh, the fantasy's really coming together now. Okay, I need a white powder though, because I don't trust the Jumbo Pencil with how emollient it is. I'm gonna dip into some super white, and this will eventually be covered in rhinestones. I'm gonna soften that a tiny bit with some strawberry milk on like the inner and outer edges. I'm gonna take a little bit of opal and pop it right here. I think we finally have to do the deed. Mine are heart-shaped because I don't have regular shaped ones for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure I only ever used them once for a Valentine's Day video that is by this point 1,000 years old, but I think they will do the trick. So I think I'm mostly going to use the little guys, but possibly throw a larger one in the area where I have a bit more space. Oh, this is going to take a million years.
How's it going?
I just dropped a rhinestone.
So, well.
It was going well until I decided to do this. This is insanely difficult when you don't have the right tools. All I have are tweezers, and I really need one of those sticky things. One rhinestone on. Okay. My fingers are just gonna be covered in glue by the end of this. Why did I do this to myself? Oh, and it's not sticking. Was this a horrible mistake. I just keep fumbling it. The glue keeps getting on my fingers and then it's not on the rhinestone. Don't you dare. Please? What is wrong with you? Let's see how many of these I can get through before I lose my goddamn mind. This is not going well. They just don't want to stay on. Literally is sticking to everything except the place I want it to. Like my tweezers, for example. Is this going to be worth it? She wondered. Imagine doing this with a full set of nails. Oh my god, I'm winded. I'm actually winded. Not to mention that this looks bad. Ugh. Okay, I have room for one more, and I've run out of the small ones in the clear color. So we're just gonna throw a pink one on the end and no one's gonna care. No one is going to say anything to me. And because the pink looks cute, but now I feel like I have to put one on the inside to tie it all together. Okay, that's it. I'm calling that done. Putting my gluey little hands down. At what cost? At what cost? Every utensil is covered in glue and I want to scream, but it's done. I need to go wash my hands and then Lord help me put on more eyelash glue so that I can throw on my lashes and then we can finally finish the rest of this look. I will see you in a bit. I do not know why I woke up today and chose violence, but it's almost over. Lord, I can't even blink without one of these threatening to jump ship. I do not understand how Chappell Roan did an entire set with an entire lower lash line full of rhinestones. It is A, uncomfortable, and B, tenuous. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Literally, I don't think you'll ever catch me doing this ever again. So while I was battling with the forces of evil, I did notice in the reference photo that there is a tiny spillover of that shimmer just right in between. So I think I'm just going to take my finger back into Opal and just gently tap across the center of this. Just a little bit so it catches the light. It is an incredibly unpleasant sensation, although on camera, I do admit, it's pretty camp, which is why we added a big old camp lash. It deserved it. This is Alter Ego by Boldface, but I think we can finally move on. I don't think I want to mess with the cheek situation all that much because I really like it. If anything, I can take maybe just the barest hint of this pink right here and like pop that on ever so slightly. I'm going to spray it down just to make sure it does not go anywhere. I'm noticing in the reference photo there's ever so slightly just a tinge of light lilac just underneath the blush. Because we're working with that shade already, let's give that a whirl. Like it definitely could be just light playing tricks in that photo. Maybe the blush he used had some sort of shift to it, or the highlight did. I can tell they're using individual lashes on the bottom, but honestly, I cannot be bothered today. Just to add a little bit more sparkle, I'm gonna go in with How Many Carats from Fenty Beauty. Truly just the best highlight topper in all the land. Now in the photo, she's using a really yellowy nude lip liner, and I'm not sure if I completely jive with it, so I think I'm gonna go with something a bit more nude pink instead. Surprise, surprise. This is Juice from Unearthly Cosmetics. I do have a discount code with them. If you ever want to use it, it's always in the description box below. And of course, we're gonna go in with Almond Rose because is there any other? I mean, really, come on now. I'm gonna take this CoverGirl cream lipstick. I think just for a real pop of that early aughts silver pink shimmer. I'm gonna take this one by CoverGirl. It's called Enchantress Blush because the gloss I'm using has no shimmer, it's flat, but I feel like it's the right color. This is Juice. Listen, It may seem like I don't know what I'm doing, and most of the time you may be right, but once in a while. Let's wrap this bad boy up. A castmate of mine left 2 Paloma cocktails in my fridge the other night, and I have been waiting to crack this all day. Put a bow on it. She is done. I do feel like I did palette potential a little dirty today, in so much as I didn't really focus on the quality of the shadows themselves, but more was focusing on surviving. Lord knows why I chose such an involved undertaking today. As far as bold looks go, I feel like this is one of the better ones that I've done in a minute. I think it's executed quite well. Black eyeshadow was not as scary as I thought it was going to be. It performed really well. I was quite measured with the amount that I was using, and I was going quite slow, and it really wasn't so bad. And I do not know if this extreme of a look is a fair enough experiment for the dark to light method of application, but I do think in this particular case, it worked fine. Granted, there is not a lot of gradient happening in this look, so we're gonna have to give that method another go. I feel like this look is actually more successful, barring things outside of the palette itself, making my life
absolute hell on earth.
Literally, you will never see another fucking rhinestone on this channel ever again. Outside of all of that, the palette performed really well today. There was still a bit of coddling in regards to creating any sort of blend, especially between the 2 purple shades. And even going from darkest to lightest, I still had to be a bit fussy about it. But the colors are gorgeous together, so I'm not gonna complain too much. Echo was really fun and easy to place. I just used my finger, and even though it's a matte shade, it did not hard pan. Opal in this use case really worked. Forgoing glitter primer gave it a more soft ambient effect as opposed to a real metallic shocking punch. I feel like the original look itself was a balance of both hard and soft, kind of bridging the gap between some masculine strong energy and some soft feminine energy. You could argue that this look is drag, for sure. In the original look on Chappell Roan, it is playing with the juxtaposition between bold and diffused. It's just a really nice balanced design, which I think is why it really appealed to me. I kind of like how I was able to incorporate some of the pastel tones from the palette into this look. And I matched the outside case today. I feel like this is gonna be the thumbnail. All in all, I definitely had more fun using this palette today than in the previous look. I'm curious to know how the rest of this palette is going to shake out. So whatever I do next, it's definitely going to be a blendy one. I really just want to put this method of application to the test in like the most challenging environment. And even though I feel like I've used so many shades, we're really only halfway through. So we've still got a lot to explore. So what would you like to see from this palette next? And what color combination should I go with? Because as always, I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and I will take any and all suggestions that you want to give me. And I will thank you profusely. I guess I'm just gonna go be Coachella ready in my living room. I hope you enjoy this look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Truly, I should have saved this for the finale. I do not think I can top this. So listen, I can't predict when the spirit takes me. Also, if you too have forgotten what I suggested at the beginning of this video, please send me your questions. I will put together a post on the community tab where you can leave your questions. I will also ask for questions on my Instagram stories a little closer to the day of recording, or of course, just feel free to DM me. Also remember, if you do feel compelled to recreate any of my looks on this channel, this one included, so help you God, you can send that to me in my DMs on Instagram, or you can use the hashtag that I will be starting as of today, motivated by Madelaide, or you can just tag me in your post. So many options. All right, Katya. I think it's time to call it a night. With that, I am finally gonna love you and leave you. But before I do, please let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways so you can help out my channel. You can give this video a big thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any and all engagement with this video is crucial to its success in the algorithm. So if you have a few spare seconds, please engage with this video. You can follow me on Instagram. I will leave that right there. And just be wary of rhinestones. Just watch your back. And with that, folks, please stay safe, wash your hands, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.